Hey there, and welcome to another episode of the Designated Pundits. MLS is up to match day 22, and we have some of the best sportsbook picks you're going to find anywhere. Let's get into it. I'm Bob here with Scott and Alex. Together we are the Designated Pundits, and we have some great Major League Soccer picks. We have a lot of things to discuss and some edge that we think we have over the sports book here this week. We are covering, I think it's just about half of the Major League Soccer games in which we have official plays. So thank you for joining us. You could also check us out on YouTube, your favorite podcast platform, whatever that may be, Spotify now with video, any of those. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, even maybe give us one of those like podcast reviews. It's going to help us bring you content like this each and every week. So thank you guys for being there, and happy 4th of July for those of you catching us up. Kind of a weird match week. We are leaving out the NYCFC Toronto game, which is going on probably in about a half hour. No official plays for that. We're going to start with Thursday, Friday, Saturday action. So let's jump right into the scorecard and see where we left off last week. Last week, we had a great Wednesday and kind of a little correction on our Saturday matches here. As you see, if you are watching on video, you can see all of our picks highlighted in our little infographic here. As the week went on, we were 5-12 on 17 wagers, minus 5.2 units, which brings us still to a great number on the season, 165 and 160 on 325 wagers, plus 26.13 units. Most of our plays that we do here are going to be plus money plays or just about even. So we don't need to be much over that 500 mark to make some money and to be in the positive. Of course, last Wednesday, we had the best show in show history. We were up 16.39 units on that week. So, a little correction last weekend because with midweek matches, stuff gets a little congested. Stuff gets a little weird, but we think we have a really great show here for you tonight. And it starts with FC Dallas hosting Minnesota United. FC Dallas, 5 wins, 6 draws, 8 losses. Minnesota United, 9 wins, 7 draws, and 4 losses. This one's going to be played at Toyota Stadium. When we look here at the odds, you have FC Dallas at plus 180 to win at home. And Minnesota United actually favorites, plus 140 to win on the road. Over under 2.5 goals, minus 158 for the over, and plus 126 positive money if you like the under in this one. Me and Scott both have official plays. I know what I think. Scott, how are you feeling this play?
I think you and I are probably thinking along the same lines. Dallas's home form is bad. It's really bad. And Minnesota has been pretty good, actually, and their depth has been pretty good even through this international window, and they've been missing some players, and they've still managed to, grind out the odd result. The number, just that plus 140 for Minnesota is just a little bit wrong given the history of these two teams. Dallas has not been able to make that like Texas Heat and stuff like that work for them. And so I am looking at Minnesota. I think they do the job. I added a little extra something to it. I added an over of 1.5 goals to it. I think Minnesota scores twice. Most likely, but a 2-1 win totally on the cards as well. Dallas can be frisky. They've still got Lucho Acosta in the team. They've still got Petter Musa up front. So they can definitely snag a goal, something like that. So a 2-1 result, definitely something that could happen. But I think Minnesota wins it.
And that Minnesota plus 100 for over 1.5 goals, that kind of tells the story. Whenever you have that much juice coming in on one side, guess what? That is going to be the winning side. And I just think that everyone kind of sees this one the same way. FC Dallas, 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses in their last 4 matches. They allowed 8 goals during that stretch. They allowed 9 goals during that stretch. Even worse. The thing that's wrong, they're without their defender, Irogadide. Irogide, something like that. He will not be playing, and he's been kind of the linchpin for that back line. Dallas is scoring a little more, but that uptick in goals allowed is going to give Minnesota the edge here. Minnesota have Dane St. Clair back. No more, guessing who the next goaltender is going to be. Minnesota's injury report came out, and the more healthy the team is, you're going to see this line walk. For me, the magic number is plus 110. Anything over plus 110 on Minnesota, I'm taking. I have them about a 48% roughly chance to win this one. So if it starts to go to even money, I'm out. But Minnesota at this price, you're right, it just doesn't make sense. Minnesota United plus 140 is my official play. Minnesota United and over 1.5 goals at plus 170 is Scott's official play. Get it while you can, because that will not be the official line come game time. Next matchup, LA Galaxy. They're hosting the Vancouver Whitecaps Friday at 7:30. LA Galaxy only 1 win on the season. Vancouver Whitecaps 11 wins, 5 draws, and 3 losses. When we look at the betting odds here, LA Galaxy plus 140 at home. Vancouver Whitecaps plus 170 on the road, plus 250 for the draw. Over 2.5 goals, minus 146. Under 2.5 goals, plus 120 if you favor lower goal totals in this. I am staying away. My sports model is telling me that LA Galaxy is the favorite to win in this one by a lot more than they are, a lot better than 140. So I'm actually losing 5% if you want to take the 140 on the LA Galaxy. So while I do have them winning, it's by such a slim margin, I can't bet on it. I'm losing too much money there. And meanwhile, we have 2 pretty pro Vancouver Whitecaps plays from the other boys here. Alex, talk us through this, and other than just a good team, bad team cap.
Well, Galaxy have 1 win on the year. Now, is this going to be the week they get their second win? I don't think so. I don't know. Again, I try to look up teams that played LAFC then LA Galaxy back to back. What's their record? I couldn't find it. What to be, into this LA Galaxy game. That's why I went. I was going to take Vancouver straight up, so I kind of wussed out a little bit with the draw no bet. Took Vancouver to bet instead of taking Vancouver straight up. Again, I've learned my lesson betting against Vancouver. I don't care if Brian White's out. I don't care if Ryan Gold's out. Vancouver's going to be looking for supporter shield by the end of the year. And Galaxy is still 1 win on the year. That's why I did the draw no bet. I think Vancouver's going to win this game.
When you talk about player availability, the one thing that kind of strikes me is Ralph Priso's out. He's suspended for this match. You already said Berhalter, Gald, White, they're all going to miss. Ali Ahmed, he's not playing. Sam Adekube will not be here. For me, it's Andre Kubas. He came up questionable. If he does not play, I do not give Vancouver Whitecaps a chance to win this, because you're missing so many touches, so many key passes, so many key actions. Scott, you're also on Vancouver in this one.
I am, and it's because of the way the coaching staff has managed to manage the rotating cast of players. This is a team that lives or dies as a team, not just off of one player. We thought when Ryan Gald went down that they would struggle to replace the Magic and stuff like that, but other players have stepped up, right? They've managed to, Pedro Vite has been, immense in a lot of ways, but the other, players around him and in the midfield are actually stepping up and carrying different elements of load that make the team succeed. I thought for sure that when Brian White, went away for international duty, that we would see them score fewer and fewer goals and they would struggle to convert chances and stuff like that. But they have still managed to do it. And so, well, yes, you're correct. They're missing important pieces. And at some point, you think the bottom just has to drop out on this team. You can't just take injuries like this forever. It still hasn't happened yet.
That's the
right. It continues to not happen. And it has continued to not happen for 6 months. So there's a point there where I'm like, I don't care. Vancouver continues to be the best team in the league. The Galaxy are getting frisky, and that's why, Alex, I agree with you. I couldn't just take Vancouver straight up.
Yeah.
Because the Galaxy are starting to figure something out. They have a win and 2 draws in their last 4 games. So they're starting to get something. So I took the double chance. I do agree with the sports book. I don't think it'll be a a goal fest. I think Vancouver is going to look to be managing this game, and a draw really feels like that is a really probable outcome. So I took a Vancouver double chance and under 3.5, and that's -110.
I like that a lot because I don't think Vancouver is going to go in with a 4-1 win. I do agree
No.
there. It's going to be either close in Vancouver, 2-0, 1-0, or if it's a shootout, I think it's LA Galaxy being favored. My model has LA Galaxy, let's see what I have here, 36.7% chance to win. Vancouver, 36.3% chance to win. So those slim margins, way under the 50% mark, which would be a +100 bet. The implied probability pushes me outside of this game, but for my own sake, I'm going to be rooting for LA Galaxy. So I am a guy against you guys on this play. And if I'm wrong, our show makes a whole lot of money. So still a great place to be here. 2 official plays on the LA Galaxy Whitecaps. Scott with the double chance and under 3.5 at -110. Alex with a draw no bet at -115. Moving on now to FC Cincinnati. Good team. 12 wins, 3 draws, 5 losses. Chicago Fire. 8 wins, 4 draws, 7 losses. However, this is one that is going to be dominated by home-away splits. This match is Saturday at 7:30. Home odds see FC Cincinnati being favored with a -120 odds and Chicago Fire +270. Heavy in FC Cincinnati's favor. Not really sure what we're seeing there. Especially with the home away splits here. Over 2.5 goals is -205. So we're seeing goals very likely in this one. Under 2.5 goals +166. That might be the biggest number I've seen in the last couple of weeks here. We have 3 official plays. All of us are taking different picks. They all include overs, and 2 of them are Chicago centric. Scott, talk us through what you see first.
The first thing I see is goals. And this is mostly because of who Chicago is on the road. They are a team that has they score 2.8 goals per game on the road, and they give up something like 2.2 goals per game on the road. Their last 5 games, they're averaging 4 goals per game. On the road, they are a team that scores and concedes a lot. And Cincy is a little more stingy at home. Their home record is pretty good, but they haven't played that many home games, which was kind of throwing me a little bit when I looked at it. But I think for me, I think it's about the Chicago being open, and that's going to open up the game. There's going to be chances on both ends, and maybe maybe Cincy just takes advantage and scores lots of goals. I don't care. I'm just taking a flat over 3.5. If Chicago wants to contribute to that, I'm all for it.
Love that pick there. I think there are absolutely going to be goals to be scored here. Alex, you took it a different way. Me and you have the same official play. Actually, slightly different. You're taking Chicago and over 1.5 goals
Cincinnati.
at +110.
I'm taking Cincinnati.
Oh, excuse me. You are on a different side. So explain yourself. Got to go change some graphics.
Cincinnati and over under at over 1.5. I like the odds on that, and like Scott says, there'll be plenty of goals in this game. To me, easy over 2 goals, and I think Cincinnati's going to win outright. Denke's going to score in this game. Again, Chicago does scare me a little bit on the road, but Cincinnati home, I don't think Chicago can get a result here. That's why I'm taking Cincinnati. Again, Cincinnati's fighting for a home playoff spot late in the year. They won't be top 2, top 3 in the East. These games like this, they have to win at home to be considered for that, and I think they'll pull it off.
Thanks for jumping in the chat. Just remember, we can pull these up here. Billy's on Chicago. We had someone asking for some official plays, and someone saying Chicago does like to score in away games. Yeah, they do. It's drastic, too. At home, Chicago, 10 goals, 12 goals allowed. On the road, 28 goals, 22 goals allowed. They've played one more road game. That is almost triple the amount of goal scoring we're seeing when Chicago is on the road. And I think that's what we're going to see here. My official play is a little different. I'm taking Chicago to score twice. Chicago team total over 1.5 goals is +138. That is a huge number. It's like the sportsbook knows it's going to be an over, but thinks it's going to be like 3-1 Cincinnati. I don't think that that's going to happen. If we see FC Cincinnati, they're going to be without Robinson. That's made no difference the last 3 weeks he's been gone when they're putting out, 0 goals. What's changed is Nick Hagelin. When he went down with that injury, they allowed 11 goals in 6 matches. He will be out of this match as well. They're allowing just about 2 each and every week. And I think Chicago Fire have a really great chance to do exactly that. They're going to score 2 goals this weekend. Official plays. Bob, Chicago team total over 1.5 at plus 138. Scott, over 3.5 total goals at plus 120. And Alex, Cincinnati and over 1.5 goals at plus 110. Moving on, DC United is hosting Atlanta United. The Uniteds are battling it out in the Midfest 2025. DC United has 4 wins on the season. Atlanta has 4 wins on the season, and there's not much to watch at Audi Field come this weekend. But I have an official play that I really love in this match. If we look at the odds here, DC United is plus 160, Atlanta United plus 160. The definition of a pick 'em. Take one either way. Over 2.5 goals, minus 144 to the over. Under 2.5 goals, plus 118. And that under is going to be my official play for this week. Now, I do have some reasons for that, but first, I just want to throw over to Scott. What do you think about this match? Do you have a lean? Do you have anything you're looking at here?
It really is a pick 'em. You could talk me into either side, DC or Atlanta. Offhandedly, having seen a little bit of DC, I would almost want to lean to Atlanta, and then just having enough sort of offhanded quality in that team to make something happen against the DC like side that without the system to make Benteke like effective, I don't know that DC like has any X factor outside of the, occasional bicycle kick. So offhandedly, I'd lean toward it's Atlanta. And yeah, the under is compelling because these two teams in a lot of ways lack a lot of that like reliable quality. Atlanta has the players for it, but they haven't done that thing with it. They haven't been that team. So yeah, I could see it, but you could talk me into the over too. You could say, hey, these teams aren't that good at defense. There will be some chances. They make mistakes.
That's exactly what I have here, which is going to be the determining factor. They're 2 bad offenses with 2 leaky defenses. I think the offensive ineptitude is going to be outweighing the defensive ineptitude in this one. Atlanta scored 5 goals in 9 away matches. DC scored 9 goals in 8 home matches. I mean, that's looking at like an under right there if you just add up. Again, if you look at what they conceded, yeah, it's a lot. But I think that neither one of these is going to get I don't think either team is going to score twice. 1-1, 1-0 is probably the most likely. I don't want to have to bet a winner, and I really don't want to have to watch this game. I want to be able to check the score, see, that we're staying under the 2.5 line, and then just watch the recap. Alex, do you have any thoughts on this match before we move on?
Yeah, I don't want to watch it. I don't like DC United. I don't like Atlanta. I don't like this game. I'm not going to pay any attention. Honestly, I'm not going to pay no attention to this game. I'll see the result at the end. I'll go, oh, okay. But that's about it.
Under 2.5 goals, plus 118.
Teams are going in the wrong direction. Yeah, I'm not touching this game.
Both of these teams are going into this game with 3 straight losses, and that seals it.
It's just...
The real loss goes to whoever watches this. I won't be me, but under 2.5 goals, plus 118. That's the official pick. Moving on, CF Montreal is hosting Inter Miami. CF Montreal, 3 wins, 5 draws, and 12 losses. Inter Miami, 8 wins, 5 draws, and 3 losses. Although this is one of the first times this season they're going to be on full rest. They haven't played a game in 7 days since getting eliminated from the Club World Cup. So I think that might factor a little bit into what we see here. And that is reflected in the odds. Inter Miami is plus 115 to win on the road. That's about as drastic as you're going to see all season. CF Montreal plus 195 if you like them to win in a home match. Over 2.5 goals, the likeliest scenario, minus 185. Under 2.5 goals, plus 152. We all have an official play. It's all the same official play. We're not getting fancy. We are taking Inter Miami as a team ride at plus 140. I could just say
ESPN bet had it at plus 140. When I saw that, I did a double take. I thought there was something was wrong. To me, plus 140 Inter Miami long going to Montreal. This is the first bet I immediately put in for it. I don't know if you guys saw that. I saw this. My eyes were wide open. I couldn't believe it. I think Inter Miami is going to win this game handily.
It's sitting at plus 120 on what is it, DraftKings right now. So
it's at plus 140. I was like, whoa, hey now.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Yeah, Billy Franklin says feels like a trap.
Yeah, it does almost. I was afraid. I always thought this is like a setup, and I saw we all jumped on it. I was like, wow, plus 140. I couldn't believe it. Again, I really. Inter Miami has a long rest. If it was short rest, if they just played, FIFA World Cup, whatever, like 4 days ago or last week, and they've had a week off. I really think Inter Miami, now that they're focusing on MLS, then that's gone. They should win this game handily. They should win this game handily.
Yeah, they should. And I've really struggled to make an argument for Montreal. Montreal's a team that works hard and stuff like that. And we've seen that a little bit recently. They've surprised a few teams, and Prince Owusu has gotten some goals that have helped them with that. And that's all true. But Miami has the quality to not get tripped up by that.
Yep. That's it. That's the handicap. They will win this match. Montreal is missing their best defender in Waterman. They're missing Vrioni still. Herbers is out. Jalen Neal and Caden Clark are on the injury report, which doesn't really bring me much happiness. What did bring me happiness was Owusu last week. I think he had an amazing forward chip pass. We brought it up on the show. I didn't know that was in his bag, but Vilsaint did not score it. So, what are you going to do here? Miami, I think, gets an easy win. Only player out for them is going to be Drake Callender. Ustari's good enough in a pinch. I like Inter Miami plus 140. Let's not overthink this. Just take what the sportsbook's giving you. Next up, RSL is hosting St. Louis City at America First Field Saturday, 9:30 p.m. RSL is 5 wins, 4 draws, and 10 losses on the season. St. Louis, 3 wins, 6 draws, 11 losses on the season, and the odds kind of reflect a little bit of a greater disparity here. RSL minus 145 at home with St. Louis plus 340 on the road. The draw is plus 300. That is one of the highest draw odds I've seen in a while. Over 2.5 goals, minus 172, pointing towards a higher goal total. Under 2.5 goals, plus 140. I have the lone official play, but I want to throw to Scott first and see what you're thinking about in this match. Another one that maybe the casual MLS fan won't be tuning into. I believe it's the only 9:30 Saturday match too.
Yeah, the casual fan probably won't want to tune into this one, and probably shouldn't find something else to watch. I don't expect this game to be electric. Neither of these teams have been particularly good in front of goal. I peeked at your play there, Bob. I know you're going to quote some stats at us here. Neither team particularly good at goal. A little bit leaky in the defense, but not overly leaky. RSL at home, not conceding that many goals, especially. I would hesitate a little bit to pick. I just think both of these teams are a little too unpredictable. RSL really struggling to score 2 goals. So if they concede 1 to St. Louis, that, this game easily becomes a 1-1 draw, just like it was against Kansas City last weekend. So if I really was going to make a play here, I'd actually look at something like Xavier Gozo to have 2 or more shots on target. That's like plus 170 or something like that. He is kind of the focal point of the offense while Diego Luna's on international duty. He's the guy that has the energy. He's the guy that he will play all 90 minutes, like guaranteed. And he's actually the guy that gets the ball in front of goal. So that's how I would probably dice it.
Yeah, RSL has only seen the goal total go over twice. When they got blown out by San Diego and when they played that 5-goal game against Vancouver Whitecaps. St. Louis City, they have given up in bunches on the road, but they're actually a little better on the road than they are at home. 3 games in a row hit that under. I just don't see who's going to score here. That's kind of what it is for me. Does RSL score twice? Probably not. Can they leave with a 1-0 win? Maybe. I feel very strongly against St. Louis right now. They have a couple of players again on the injury report, haven't played the formation they wanted to play. They were pulled out of that 5-man back line. I just they're not showing me anything right now. I think RSL's defense is going to be good enough. Vera looks to be back, so it's kind of the usual suspects there. This is going to be a boring game. That's it. It's a boring game, and it's an under. I think taking an under in MLS games is kind of rough, and having two of them in the same card the same week. But goal totals in MLS also seem to kind of be the most predictable part of it. Like high scoring game script, low scoring game script. I'm okay, losing this bet, knowing that the likeliest outcome is being plus 140. Plus 140. Again, all my plays this week are like in that range, plus 140. And, I really like what the value we're getting here. Do I think this comes in under 50% of the time? Yeah. Actually, my sportsbook model, I have it pulled up right here. The under hitting on this match, I have going about 51.9% of the time. So it's happening more than half the time, and you're getting plus money. It's just a no-brainer. You're getting 10.24% advantage on the sportsbook number compared to my implied probability that I have on my score sheet here. So again, RSL, St. Louis, under 2.5 goals, plus 140. Fantastic plus money bet. San Diego FC hosting Houston Dynamo. This is actually our last match that we'll be covering in this episode. San Diego FC, 12 wins, 3 draws, 5 losses. Houston Dynamo, 6, 5, and 9. This is a 10:30 game at Snapdragon Stadium, and I think that kind of means the most to me. You see the odds here, minus 145 for a San Diego FC win, plus 350 for a Houston Dynamo win, plus 290 for a draw. I was officially really happy with the over-under, the totals that we got here. I was looking at a way to get a plus money play in this one. And Alex, you kind of trailed the same bet as me. What do you see here?
I found I saw San Diego and over-under of 1.5 at plus 105 on ESPN Bet. So I jumped on that. Look, San Diego, they're surprised of the league. The supporter shield, they're going to be challenging at the end of the year. Dreyer, I think, won player of the month. Lozano looks healthy. And the Houston Dynamo, I don't know what you guys think, but they look – I see no life in Houston Dynamo at all lately. It's a combination of how good San Diego looks and how bad Houston Dynamo looks. I was actually thinking of going over 2.5. I thought about it, but I wished that went down to 1.5 at the plus 105 odds. So I think San Diego wins this game. Again, the way they're playing right now, the way Houston to me does not look good at all. I'm going to take San Diego. I think San Diego should win this game easily.
I agree, and I'm also pairing the San Diego, which is at minus 145, with that same total, over 1.5 goals. San Diego scores. They've scored a lot. They've scored 12 goals in the last 3 matches. They've won 4 matches in a row. They haven't been held scoreless since May 29th by Seattle Sounders in Seattle. And, at home, I could probably scroll even further. I didn't even look at that number. Yeah, it was May 18th against Sporting KC, and that was only one of 2 times they were held scoreless. This is kind of a no-brainer, San Diego, and they're going to score 2. So if you like the team total, it's at minus 146. I just found a better way to pair it than taking the team total was them and over 1.5 at plus 105. That, of course, does mean they're going to have to score 2. Mm-hmm. Scott.
I would be shocked. I'd be absolutely shocked if Houston got anything out of this game. I saw this and I almost just shamelessly copied you guys. I think this hits.
I thought the over 2.5. I really did. I thought about it. I wanted to go that way, and I wished that I went to over 1.5 just to be safe.
I think that's wise. I think Houston on the road, knowing that they're not that great, the most they can kind of do is be frisky. I could see Houston just trying really hard to be difficult to break down and forcing San Diego late into the game, right? That's the danger, is that Houston plays something really tight defensively and forces San Diego, 0-0 for a long time. And then there isn't the time for San Diego to crack them open.
I agree. I don't see what Houston has here. know they've made some changes on the roster, and it seems like nothing has gotten any better over the last few years. All these Dallas teams have been struggling. So yeah, we kind of see this one the same way. San Diego FC and over 1.5 at plus 105. If you're watching along at home, our show picks are up on the screen now. Make sure you check us on Spotify now with video. I think we had 7 of 15 matches covered in this episode. Thank you all for joining in the comments. And we will see you again real soon next week. We're going to cut this episode a little bit short because we got a 4th of July weekend up ahead, and I got a lot of work to do cutting and clipping before this goes live in the shorts. Make sure you check that out on YouTube. We have shorts for each match. If there's only one match you want to listen to, go click on that episode. We have between like 3 and 6 minutes on each match. You can do that on your own time. Those are going to be up there really soon. Thank you guys for joining us. Scott, Alex, I'm Bob. Have a great weekend, guys. Happy 4th of July.